Hey, hey, what's up? What's up, self-care? What's up, Self-Care Bear Club? How you been? How you been? How have you been? I'm Carrie. My name is Carrie, the Self-Care Bear. And I've been living. Thank you for being here. First and foremost, thank you for being here, for listening to me, looking at me, whatever it is you're doing. I'm on YouTube. I'm barely on Instagram. I'm barely on Spotify. I'm playing, but guess what happened? Some of you know, and I really appreciate if you fucking know. If you are like waiting for me and you're like, this bitch, again. She failed me again. This is 3 weeks since my last episode. And it's because I've been going through it. So I just wanted to hop on here. I don't have anything super wise or important to say, except that loving yourself is the only fucking thing that matters when you're ugly, when you're sad, when you're angry. And the point of this episode is to tell you that you are none of those things. You are none of those things. You are none of those things. I had a client, a friend, a confidant tell me recently that in some culture, and I should have researched what culture or cultures possibly, they say, instead of saying I am before any sort of emotion, they say I have on me. I have blank on me. So for this instance, I have sad on me. You could say anything, insert any emotion here. I have anger on me. I have happiness on me. I have excitement on me. I have disappointment on me. I have guilt on me. I have shame on me. Clearly, we know how I have been feeling. But I loved it. Do you love it? I loved it. Because not only is this layer that you are not identifying with your emotions and calling yourself such, which is something I think we know that I have done for so long, and I love being emotional. Like, I almost pride myself on it. But I am not those things. Like, I am love, I am light, everything is all right. And that's what I believe. And this is just another step of separation from that, right? So it's this idea that I have sadness on me. It's not going to stick around forever. It never does. And while it might be on me, I also have happiness on me. There's also laughter on me. There's also peace on me. I can have all of these things on me at once. And then another friend, client, confidant, put in her perspective and said, oh, I love that because it's also as if you're whole underneath. And that hit home for me too. I have always identified with negative emotions being not good, as it sounds, negative, right? We associate that as not good, or we want to get out of them. I surely do. I don't like being sad. I don't like having sad on me. They have been my least favorite emotions. And the worst thing you can do, in my opinion, when you are feeling those things, and what has always made it way bigger than it needed to be, is me fighting it. That resistance towards those negative feelings. That resistance just makes it bigger. And like, you don't even know you're doing it. I don't even know I'm doing it to this day, as self-aware as we've become. So there's always new layers, right? But we are noticing that when you have sad on you, when you have anger on you, when you have regret on you, notice how you talk to yourself. Subconsciously, subliminally, out loud. Maybe you really do know that you say these things and you're like You think that that's normal. You think that that's okay. And there's nothing wrong with it, except that you're really hindering your emotional growth, your emotional wellness, your spiritual wellness, right? Happy people aren't just happy all the time. Peaceful people aren't just peaceful all the time. Like, I love Buddhists, right? But they're just like, and monks, they're just like, that's a practice. They have emotions too. They just ride them like the waves, right? So in this season, I've been really trying to love the sad on me, trying to love the regret, the guilt, the shame, sitting in it, which I've always sat in it. But again, there was that extra 10 layers of bullshit that came along with it, instead of just accepting. So, can you accept your emotions and not let society tell you they are bad or wrong? You know, there's also this layer that I believe that our society is getting hella soft recently. So please take my lingo and my language with a grain of salt. We don't even have to get into that. Because, yeah, we don't have to get into that. Don't get too soft out here, is what I'm telling you. Don't play the victim game. Don't do that. You can do whatever the fuck you want. But it's not going to get you anywhere. But do feel your feelings. So basically, if you don't already know, now you will know. Tucker was in the last episode. And he will be physically no longer in any further episodes. So, thank you for accepting me as I am, with the sadness on me and in my heart. And I have said that without crying this week. Maybe I lost his physical presence about 10 days ago. So it was suddenly unsudden. If you're listening, you're like, who the fuck is Tucker? It's my best friend. It's my cat. We've been together for 14 years, which people love to tell me is a long time for a cat, and I appreciate where that's coming from. In my head, I had we were going for 18, for 20, you know, them real old cats, you know. So this was, again, somewhat suddenly unsudden. The last month, there's been a reason to there's been lots of reasons, but my focus has been on my family. And I thought, while I am committed to my self-care and the Self-Care Bear Club, it would not be authentic to divert my attention here when that is my guy. So it was unsudden in that we realized he was sick, but he was suddenly very sick, or I found out he was suddenly sick. And then if you've ever lost somebody close to you with a very terrible disease, you know that there's good days, there's bad days, and then all of a sudden it can just get really fucking bad suddenly. So I've been riding the waves of all those emotions, and I just wanted to share it with you. I have lost people in my life, and I don't want to say the people that I've lost are not as important as my guy. But if you know, you know. If you know, you know. And he was my guy. He was my shadow. And so I'm feeling a lot of things. Honestly, I know he's at peace. So I'm not going to tell you the 10 steps of grieving or whatever. If you are grieving anything, even the loss of your old self or anything, anyone, don't let anybody tell you how to do it. Don't let anybody tell you to do anything. That's the point of this club, right? Is to get to know yourself so well and just love yourself no matter what, that it doesn't fucking matter. It doesn't fucking matter that I wanted to stay home and drink wine and eat Uber Eats every day last week. It doesn't fucking matter. It literally doesn't fucking matter. Like, if you tell yourself it doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. So you can't let it matter. You can't let it matter, because then you're just going to go down this negative spiral, right? Nothing is negative. Our thoughts make it so. Now, I'm not saying don't take care of yourself. Within this, jazzercise yoga has been my constant. Like, I still show up as I am, ugly crying and all. So there has been, still that your self-awareness is not going anywhere. So we're not going back to that hole where, like, yes, we're not eating as well as, like, we might want to, or we think we should, or whatever, but we don't even think that anymore, because we just know that it's going to be all good. The sadness is not going to be on us forever. So honestly, what I was saying is that I know he's at peace. I really have not been really feeling, of course I'm sad, but I haven't really been looking for him. I've been a lot less stressed leaving the house and stuff like that, because it's not cool to see your friend sick. But to play a sort of God is very interesting, right? If you have children, pets, anything, like, it's hard being responsible for somebody, and or if you have, elderly family, or a family that is not well, and you have to make these decisions. Like, it's a weird thing. It's my first time doing it again, so it's a weird thing. It brings up a lot of feelings about animals, family, actual humans, parents, etc., right? And just what everybody is going through that you maybe know nothing of. So I've been feeling more sadness of me falling short, and everybody's been so kind. So if you've reached out to me, thank you so much. I know I did the best I could with what the knowledge I had at the time. But there's also truth in accepting where you fell short, and knowing all the things I know now, I would do it differently with the next cat, and that's okay. That's growth, right? That's okay. I have to be okay with that. And I'm not telling you how to raise your pets, but enrichment is so important, and I've been thinking about that a lot. I do have another cat who is super happy inside and, like, loves that, so I also realize there's different cats. But if you have a cat, and just pay attention to him. Just pay attention to him. I've just had this whole notion of, it's so funny that we just lock cats in our house, and we're like, we're doing what's best for them. And if you are, I believe you. I trust you. I believe you. I trust you. I mean, obviously, there's a whole layer to this where I lived in Shockoe Bottom. If you don't know what Shockoe Bottom is, it's like downtown of Richmond. So obviously I'm not letting my cat out in these streets. So again, I did do well by him. I'm well aware that multiple things can exist at the same time. But we spent a lot of time outside in his last month, and he lit up in a way that I wish I could have provided for him longer. So anyways, here's to loving ourselves no matter what, with the sad on us, with the regret on us, with the disappointment on us, with the guilt on us, with the good times on us, and moving through it all, right? Moving through it all, whatever you're going through. You got this, and you got me. You really do. Even when I'm not here. I say that on the internet all the time. I'm here even when I'm not here. So if you need an SOS, ask me for my phone number. Because that's maybe the only way you're going to get a hold of me right away. Well, at least within 24 hours. That's the best I can give you, and that is A-okay. Look at his hair. for now, we're okay with not being okay. But we actually are okay. Can you quote me on that? Can you quote me on that? Quote me on that, y'all. Everything's pink. Everything's pretty. Tucker, I love you. I love you. I don't know a lot. I'm not about to get like religious on you guys, or maybe I am. I don't fucking know. Spiritual on you guys, but you can believe something halfway also, right? A belief is something that you tell yourself over time. It's just something that, it's just something that you repeat to yourself over time. So when I'm changing my beliefs, which I'm doing so much of, as we already know, right? You're not going to believe it right away. So just a reminder, don't give up. Don't stop telling yourself the things that you know in your heart are true, and the things that you want to believe. You can get there. You will believe it. It will come more naturally over time and time and time again. So with death, terrified of death as a child, as a young adult, as still probably now. Like the idea that you're just gone forever, right? Like Tucker's I'm never gonna hear him meow again. Like, right? It's just, he's never gonna sit next to me again. But energy does not disappear. Like, this is science, right? This is science. You know, I'm not a scientist, so I'm not gonna give you the science. But energy doesn't just disappear. Like, that doesn't disappear forever. So whether it's an afterlife you believe in, or that he's just floating around right here on my shoulder, like, I am learning to believe that this guy is somewhere. Maybe he's right here. He's definitely right here. But may we find peace in that for all our lost loved ones. Like, my favorite person, my favorite spiritual teacher, if you don't already know, is Abraham Hicks or Esther Hicks, and R.I.P. Jerry. Her husband's name was Jerry, and they call death croaking because they take the seriousness out of it. And that might be offensive to some of us, but it's really lightened it for me, because it's just another experience, right? It's so terrifying to most of us, but we all have to go through it. It's such a weird notion. So we all croak one day. And their idea is pretty similar. I mean, yeah. Listen to them if you're interested. It's very great. But yeah, it's just, they call it croaking because it's like, once you're dead, it's great. Like, you literally have zero stress, zero fear, zero disappointment, zero regrets. You're just pure positive energy. Doesn't that sound nice? And so that's the goal here, is to be more of that, more of the time. Even in our negative emotions, can we find lightness? Can we find pure positive energy from what we're feeling now? That might sound like a mountain to climb, but if you're interested, go check them out on YouTube. It's worth your time, for sure. For sure. They changed my life, and yeah. So I think that's all I got. Thank you for being here for me. I just needed to talk and vent and burp and cry and drink wine with you. So, what do you have on you? What kind of emotions do you have on you? I don't know. I do know that whatever you have on you, you are whole underneath, and you don't need fixing. You don't need fixing. You don't need to be put back together. So stop right now if you're telling yourself any of that shit. And then when it comes up again, because it fucking will, stop right there. And take a deep breath in. Give yourself a big old hug. Remember, it all begins within. You have the power. You have the power, even in the toughest of moments. Take care out there, my friends. I'll see you in the next episode. Hopefully on time this time. I love you so much. Bye-bye for now.